It's not often that you can say the 7th film in a franchise is the good one, but here we are. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is Jump Scare Reviews. We were still talking about horror films from last year that we did not get a chance to talk about last year, and this is one I cannot describe to you how flabbergasted I was when I saw the reviews for this thing. This is Final Destination Bloodlines, and I said it's the 7th. It might actually be the 6th. I cannot remember how many Final Destination films there have been. I don't even think that anybody can remember that. There was a lot. There was a time in which this was like an annual franchise. Everybody was watching these films, and nobody was really liking them all that much. Like, don't get me wrong. I think this first one had an interesting idea, but we watched that previously last October, and man, not interesting. It's an interesting premise. I just did not enjoy it anyway. Like, I just was like, beyond the premise, it's not that great. The death or whatever it is, it's just too hokey. Like, all the visions are just too goofy. Like, it didn't work for me. The second one I saw years ago, and I do remember liking that one. I do remember enjoying that. I haven't seen any of the other ones. I would like to, at one point in time on this channel, like, do a whole, like, month where we just watch them all. But when I saw that this thing was getting like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes or something, what you got me? How many people, like, did only 10 people review this? What's going on? And they were all Final Destination fans? What's happening? Yeah, I was stunned.
Was the bar so low?
Yeah, it's like, man, you could walk over that bar at this point. Yeah, because I have not seen anything past the second Final Destination film, but I remember hearing how bad they got. I remember hearing people just being like, just destroy the whole franchise. Never talk about it again. It's done. Never bring it back up. And for a long time it was. I think this franchise has been gone for almost 20 years, something like that. It's been a while. But they brought it back for this film, and everybody was saying it was so good. And even people who I know aren't horror fans, even people who I know are not Final Destination fans, they were just raving about this thing. And after watching it, yeah, this is genuinely good. Mm-hmm. This is I cannot stress this enough. This is a Final Destination film where at the end of this movie, I actually shouted out, and I'm quoting myself on this, "Fuck, that's good writing." You can attest, I did actually say that out loud. It is stunning how well this thing works.
They finally got it right.
No, shut up. No, never do that again. If you're gonna do a pun, do not stop and go, all right, everybody. Here it comes.
Here it comes, it's the dog.
It's the pun dog. Hey, boy, now you have it in front of your face.
Yes. This is my punishment.
Yes.
My punishment.
See, it was good. And then you stopped to go, hold on. I gotta make sure everyone got it. I was literally about to go like, see, that's how you do it correctly. And then you stopped and steered into a ravine.
Holy fuck, this was bad writing.
Yeah, there you go. Hold on, I just got a vision of how horrible this review is going to go. I have to prevent it. And then the ghost of bad jokes will haunt me forever. So anyway, this film, it starts off with back in like the 50s or something.
No, like the 60s.
60s, all right. And this woman and her boyfriend are going to the top of this brand new restaurant that's been built. It's one of those giant buildings that with like the rotating restaurant.
Yeah, it's basically it's called the Skyview. It's obviously based off the Space Needle from Seattle.
Yep. And here's the thing: Final Destination. One of the things that it does well is that every single movie is supposed to lean into a fear that people have. Mm-hmm. We talked about this last October when we reviewed the first one. I have a massive fear of flying. And I was telling you, when that film starts and they're on the plane, whoever shot that knows what it's like to have a fear of flying. They put you in those characters' shoes. Like, that that feeling that you get when you're walking into a plane and you're just like looking for like reasons of like why this could crash or not crash, or like just the tension of when it's starting up, that when it's building up, like, man, yeah, they nailed it. And I used to have a thing with heights. I don't have it anymore. But I was watching this like, no, yeah, they know how to lean into that fear of heights. So yeah, that was being established very well. But they're setting up the idea that the woman in this scenario, she's having those visions. She's getting that feeling that something's going to happen. And there's some asshole kid that's just throwing pennies off the top of this thing. And he's told to stop. And then he immediately starts doing it again. And that's when the death Rube Goldberg machine kicks in. Penny goes flying back in, gets caught on something. All the people are dancing on like a glass floor, starts cracking. It's about to break apart. The penny gets caught in a thing that causes another thing to happen. That causes another thing
it gets caught in a fan of the ventilation, and then suddenly it like ricochets.
Yeah, it starts going all over the place. Like a fire gets started, gas starts leaking, the whole thing starts blowing up. And everybody in this thing starts dying, like just in the most gruesome ways possible. And it is probably the longest of any of these Final Destination intros before they get to like when things change. And this could have been its own film.
Honestly, yeah.
It reminds me of back in like the 60s and 70s, those disaster films.
Yeah, exactly.
This is literally just Tower Inferno if you shrunk it down to 20 minutes. I would have watched a short that was just this movie and be like, that's a damn good disaster film right there. Man, you guys, way to go. That dog has been blocking your head this entire time. Sorry.
It's okay. I deserve it for being bad at puns.
It's okay. You gotta just sit there the entire time.
Yeah.
But anyway, and it's just generally well established how everything works in this opening. You really get a connection to our main character and the boy who she's dating. There's this little kid in there that she saves at the end when everything is going to hell. And you're just like, you know this is a vision because it's a Final Destination film. And we saw the trailers. We know what the purpose is. And yet I'm still like, save that kid. Come on, you gotta save the kid. It's like, I know this is a vision. None of it's real. So we then cut to the present. And we are seeing that the thing that we just witnessed was a vision from this totally different person, Stephanie. And she keeps going, okay, well, this is like a real thing. The person who I'm having the vision about, that was my grandmother, or at least she had my grandmother's name. And that was my grandfather's name, the boy that she was dating. Something's going on. So she goes back home, and nobody wants to talk about her grandmother. They're all trying to hide where she is, and eventually her uncle just reveals to her, listen, she became obsessed with death. She was keeping us from going outside. After my father died, she was keeping us from going anywhere. She was trying to like make sure that nothing bad ever happened to us, but it was taken to a point where we weren't allowed to live our lives. We weren't allowed to go to school. We weren't allowed to go anywhere. She made our lives hell. Eventually, the state had to come and take us away from her. And she's able to track down where her grandmother is. And she goes and she finds her, and she is in... It's, you know, in that Halloween reboot when they go to Jamie Lee Curtis's house and like it's decked out for survival purposes. This makes that look like pussy shit. That would have been better if I didn't stutter on that. So it's got like the giant gate, but then it's got giant spears of sharpened wood. Yep. I don't know, to fight off the horde. I don't know, like, she gets attacked by goblins at night. I don't know what that's there to protect her from. But then she's in a cabin that even then is surrounded by, like, nothing. And you go inside and there's almost, like, no light inside there or anything. I don't know how she survives, how she eats inside this place. She has basically built a solitary confinement for herself to just be stuck in there this entire time. And she's telling her what happened. She had the vision, and then she went in there and she saved everyone. She kept everyone from dying.
Yeah, Grandma Iris saved everybody.
Yes. However, she then, after her husband died, she started looking into it, and a lot of other people started dying as well. And they were dying in the same
Yeah, they were the
pattern.
same people that she saved from the tower.
And they were dying in the same order that they died in her vision.
Mm-hmm.
And she realized it was coming for her. And if it came for her, it would then come for her kids, because it was also hitting up all the children of the people.
Yeah, because they weren't supposed to be alive at all. So.
Yes. So she then, that's why she became obsessed with trying to protect them from death. And she got this idea that death was like an actual thing, and it was trying to hunt them down because none of them were meant to survive that night. And every single one of these films, we have to watch as these characters figure things out. And it's kind of refreshing to have a character who already went through that, and they've got the playbook. Mm-hmm. They've got like everything mapped out. And they even have like references to the previous films. Mm-hmm. Like there's a page in there that's dedicated to the second film, a page in her journal that's dedicated to the first film. They're talking about like the rules of people in the previous films who figured out ways to get around this stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool, but of course, Stephanie thinks that she's insane. She's like, okay, no, my family was right. You are nuts. None of this is real. And there's a great moment in which Iris has not left the house in like 40 years or something.
But then she steps out to give her the playbook.
And you see her having to contemplate it. She realized, and it's great that you see this is somebody who has spent like 40 years trying to identify this. All the other characters we have followed in these movies, they deal with this for like a week max before it's too late. She spent 40 years identifying this, and there is an amazing moment there in which you see the Rube Goldberg machine happening. Mm-hmm. Because anybody who has watched these films, they know how this goes. They know the Rube Goldberg machine. They know it's like, okay, this goes into this, this goes into this, this goes into this, which causes this to happen, and that's how the death happens. And you start seeing that happen, and then all of a sudden she just goes, son of a bitch. And like she realizes it's happening, and then she stops and is like, that is so cool. That is so awesome watching somebody after, so many of these other films. It's awesome to see somebody who's just like, no, I got this down. I know how this works. And she's actually like been fighting death for 40 years. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Then she finally takes the risk of leaving the cabin.
The risk, and it's not even a risk because it's like, no, she knows. Like she knows she will die if she leaves, but she wants to protect her family. Mm-hmm. So she steps outside. And she knows she's going to die, and she hands her the notebook, and she says, seeing is believing, and then the Rube Goldberg machine gets her, and it kills her. So her family comes together. They still don't know what to make of it, but then eventually somebody else dies. And that's when Stephanie starts to realize, okay, I'm starting to decipher what's going on in this book. I know what's going to happen. It's coming back for each of us. It's going to hit us all in this order. And from there, it is your standard Final Destination film. Except for a couple things. One, the emotional beats in here are so good. Mm-hmm. This is a family that is being targeted. Yes. It's not a group of strangers who all happen to be on a thing at the same time. And they're all different people, so they all have their own differences. They're bumping up against each other. No, this is a family. Mm-hmm. And it's a family that cares about each other. Mm-hmm. And that comes across. And everybody is very different. It is a very different family. Everybody in here, very different personalities, but you definitely get a sense of each of them, and you do get a sense that they genuinely care. Like, there was one guy in there, he is supposed to be the rebel. He's got tons of piercings and tattoos, and he is just a dick to everybody. But the moment it comes to actually care about his family, like, he genuinely goes the distance. He actually cares about them. There's somebody in the family who has a peanut allergy. And, like, there is such a great moment of him, like, coming out there and, like, being like, no, here's the rules of how to protect my brother. It's like, God damn it. That's so, like, it's so charming. Like, there's a moment in which you see him, like, a member of his family has passed away, and you see him actually, like, getting really emotional over it. He's trying to hide it. I was like, God damn, man, you're making me really care about these characters. I really like everybody in this movie. And there's so many just great little bits of great little dynamics between them. Like, Stephanie comes home and from college, yeah, because she's trying to track down her mother or her grandmother.
Yeah, because like these visions keep messing up her studies, and
she's having it every night. Yeah, she cannot sleep because she keeps having this nightmare over and over again. But she gets home, and her mother left when she was young. And as the film goes on, we learn why the mother left when they were younger. But she sees her brother Charlie, and Charlie is very cold and distant to her, and so she's just kind of like, oh, I guess that's kind of the age she is at. But then they take Charlie with her to visit their cousins, and he gets along with all the cousins. He's great with the cousins, and it's just like, oh, wow. What did I do? Why don't you like me? And it's just like, that's such a good little, like, bit of family drama in there that I really appreciate. So that's the first thing that this does very well. The other thing is, this has some of the best kills in the entire... Like, again, I've only seen the first two. The kills in this thing are phenomenal.
They are very graphic.
They're very graphic.
But it works.
it works, but that's not even the reason why I'm saying that they're phenomenal. I'm saying they're phenomenal because the entire appeal... Yeah, you want to shake my hand, buddy? Yeah. Because the entire appeal of the kills in the Final Destination franchise, it is that Rube Goldberg element. It is, this goes into this goes into this, and like, you are looking for what's going to do it. What's going to be the thing that sets it all off. And when the first kill happens in here, you see a shard of glass, you see a glass get broken, and a shard of it goes into ice. And then they start picking up the ice and putting it into drinks for everybody to enjoy. And you don't know who got the glass for the drink in it. That is the most tense Russian roulette game you're ever going to watch. Like, you were sitting there the whole time like, is it this? Whoa, okay, she tossed her drink out. Was it in there? Or what? No, it wasn't. No, so it's, okay, so it wasn't her. Whose is it? Who got it? But then while that's happening, another thing in the background is going on. It's like, okay, is that
so how are they connected? Like,
yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, you know something, you know an object is gonna have, gonna be part of the death, but you're not sure how.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. This film does such an amazing job of making you just constantly looking around going, what's going to happen? Where's it coming from? There's a moment where they're at a hospital and characters are talking, and like, they have now at this point come to realize everything is right. They're going to die in this order. It's this person's turn. And they're just looking around of like, okay, like they're trying to formulate a plan. So they're being very careful about something. And a nurse wheels a cart in front of the camera. They're like here, and then the nurse just wheels the cart in front of the camera. And that moment made me go, fuck, is that connected? Like, I jumped at that, not because it was scared, but because I was like, what's that leading to?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to follow that. Yeah, and I will say, I think the performances in here are really good. Like I said, every single character really stands out, and you really appreciate them. And I have to bring up Tony Todd, because this wasn't just his final appearance in this film. This was his final appearance. This is the final film that he's done. And
The final destination.
yes, and they knew it. It was very clear. Like, you see him in here, he was dying of cancer. And you see him in here, he was definitely, like, late into it. Like, he had lost a ton of weight in this. His voice was shaking. But he's been in all these films. He is a major important part of this. Hell, he's the guy who gives everybody, like, the plot. He's the one who just goes, listen, I know that nobody in their right mind would come to this conclusion that this is happening, but I have secret knowledge, and I'll never tell you why. Am I actually death itself? You don't know. So he's always been the guy who comes in and gives them the information. This film, it's his final message. And I will say, we actually get a backstory on his character for once. We finally learn why he knows all this information, who he is. And I gotta say, it's good. I think it works. They actually gave him a backstory that, yeah, I think nailed it. I think it did a great job. We were talking about this when we were talking about Welcome to Derry. It's so hard to do the origin story of the mystery figure who them being kind of mysterious is. All right, Pete, you've been in front of us like this entire goddamn film. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, she's been in front of you this entire movie. All right, there we go. This entire review. So, it's so hard to successfully do that, where you give the mysterious figure an answer you finally tell the audience what this is. I really like this. Like, it made so much sense. Why he would know this information. It makes so much sense why it makes it feel important how he ties into everything. And it also makes this film feel important because it now ties into all the films. Because this film ties into his character. And also the final message that he gives, I actually think is great. It doesn't really match the rest of this it doesn't really match the message of the rest of this film. I kind of felt like that. Well, actually, no, I'll take that back. The final message, it does kind of tie into where they go with this. But we'll get into that in spoiler stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate Tony Todd's final performance in here. It's actually is a great moment to go out on. And sadly, I haven't watched the Oscars in a long time, but from what people have told me, last year, they didn't, well, oh wait, when were the Oscars last year? No, the Oscars are in January. No, they're early. So no, okay, yeah, because I remember people, there was some award show last year that people were pissed about because Tony Todd did not get a mention. And it could have been the Oscars. It had to have been, well, when did this film come out? I don't know, maybe, okay, whatever. Sorry. Sorry about that. Maybe they still have. If it was the Oscars still have a chance to make it right with the Oscars this year. But his final line in here, it feels like the thing that during the In Memoriam segment, they're going to stop and play his final line here. It's good. I like it. I think they do it well. So yeah. Guess we should just say can't go into spoiler stuff in here, but yeah, the characters are great. Best that I've seen in the two films that I've watched so far, but also just it's some of the best in any horror film because horror films love to just make characters completely unlikable. So that way you like root on when things happen. Everybody here is so incredibly likable, and you don't want anything bad to happen to any of them. And it's that family bond that they have that really makes it so special. Also, the kills, like I said, these are the best Rube Goldberg machines they've done. There's one in here that's like, are we about to witness the longest Rube Goldberg we have ever witnessed in this thing? And yeah, it's really impressive what they do with it. So yeah, goddamn, I really like this film.
What would you give it?
I'm giving it a solid A.
I'll give it a solid A too.
Yeah, can't go quite A+, but it's really good. Problems that I have with the film that I'll say, I do feel like there comes a point in which they are saying like, Stephanie, she's got the ability to see death. She can figure out when things are going to happen. Only because she kind of took a guess at one thing happening and then it happened. And I'm just like, that's not really enough to like really prove that she can see death. Also, Stephanie's dad kind of leaves the film at one point. He doesn't die or anything, but he's just like out of the film for a little bit. And I'm just like, there's a reason, like, they even do acknowledge, like, yeah, he's trying to call us. So they do admit, like, they're avoiding him. But I'm just like, I kind of feel like he should have come back a little bit at some point in here. Yeah, that's really the most problems I have with this thing. And also, I will say, if you are a Final Destination fan, like I said, I don't have a ton of knowledge past the first two. But there are so many good references in here. There is one fake-out death that they do in here. It's not even a death, but it's like, it's something that they do in here that makes you go, oh, have you seen any of the other Final Destination films? You're going to know what's coming in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, is it going to happen or are we just going to tease you with it? Like, yeah, they do those things that reward the audience for knowing how this franchise works. So yeah, I guess we should go into spoiler stuff now. So I mentioned there was a little kid in her vision that she was trying to save in the very beginning. That's Tony Todd's character.
Yep.
And I will say, I called it before it got revealed. Because they kept placing so much emphasis on that kid.
Yeah.
And then I stopped and I did the math of like, how old would that kid be today? Oh my God, are you about to reveal that that's why he, like, and that's why he knows. He and, what's her, the lady?
Iris?
Iris, yes. They kept in touch after this, because she kept trying, like, keep track of all the other survivors of this when they started dying. And his mom, even though he was a little kid, his mom was there and she died. So she would have, sorry. But she's been getting in touch with all the survivors, obviously. So it makes sense that she got in touch with him. And he mentions like, yeah, we even became friends. I helped her fix up that cabin of hers. We learned about the rules of death again. I was like, that's how he knows. And you know something? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that. I don't need him to be like a mythical. I don't need him to be like Death Incarnate, which is the rumor that people have had for so long about him. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, that is a wonderful explanation of this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it now makes it so this film, listen, this film did very well at the box office. Do not make any more Final Destinations.
No.
Because with that explanation for his character, how the story in this one ties into his character and how he explains everything all the way back at the beginning of this franchise, it does make it a very cyclical franchise.
Mm-hmm.
A franchise that just kind of like loops itself like, man, that's hard to pull off, but you guys did it. So yeah, I love that. And also, he gives them the rules, and the rules that were established in other films. Like I said, I haven't seen the other films, but I do know some of the stuff that happens in other ones. Like, they come up with they realize, oh, if you kill someone, then you get their time. If you die, but then you come back to life, then that breaks the chain. Yeah, and those are things that happened in the previous films. So I dug that. What was I going to say? Yeah, and then his final line, he says like, yeah, it's coming for me next. Now that Iris is out of the picture, it's coming for me next because I was the next to die in line in that. You know what? I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to enjoy what time I have left. Life is for the living. And like, that's a great line for him to go out on. But I was like, yeah, his entire thing, this entire series has been about like death and everything. So it's kind of like, felt like, oh yeah, that doesn't really match what we've got from the rest of this. But then I was like, oh no, that's the point. The point is he has lived his entire life like focusing on death, and now he's accepted it. It's going to happen. I'm going to enjoy the time I have left. I'm like, that's actually kind of good. Like, I think, like, yeah, that's great. That's a great way for him to go out. From there, talking about some of the deaths in there, I love one thing that they did in there, with, what's his face, with the punk brother.
Eric, is that his name?
Yes, that was it. Yeah. I love that, in which they have a sequence in there where they're trying to make it seem like he's going to die. And I will just say, man, if you got piercings, if you got the nose piercing, what's it called? The bridge of your nose. Like, I don't know what that's called. Yeah, if you got one of those piercings, this is probably one of those nightmares you've had. How they try to take him out. But then it gets revealed that he survives. And they think, okay, I guess we were wrong. Maybe it didn't happen. And then the sister dies.
Yes.
And
it is revealed that he is not the biological son. Like, basically, his mom had an affair.
Yes. And that's how he survived.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh my God, that's such a good twist. That is such a good joke. And then when he finds out who the dad is, he's like, that guy? Oh, not that guy. It's such a good bit of humor. The jokes in here are actually legitimately funny. Mm-hmm. I really liked a lot of the jokes that they put in here.
Yeah, like, he was the one who came up with the idea to, like, have his Bobby,
yes,
like, eat something with peanuts in it, then, like, resuscitate him, so, like, kill him and then bring him back.
And it's, man, you hear that plan, and you're just like, and he's been such an asshole character throughout this film, that you hear that, and you're like, yeah, it kind of makes him also kind of feel like an asshole. But the way in which this film writes these characters, on paper, that sounds like this guy just came up with a plan to kill his own brother. Like, yeah, man, you're a fucking psycho. But no, the way in which they put people in their shoes in this film, and the way in which they were able to write it so that it's clear that these characters care about each other. Yeah, you look at that and you're just like, yeah, man, I buy it. You feel like this is coming from a place of love. Mm-hmm. And I love the rapport these two have. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a moment after Tony Todd's character tells them that one way to skip this is kill someone, then you get the time they had. And they go, how do you even know how much time someone has? And they realize they're standing next to the new babies section, and they look over there, and there's a brief moment in which it's like, oh shit, are they about to become the most unlikable characters ever? And then they both stop and go, no. Like, both of them, like, snap out of it at the same time. I was like, okay, good.
Like, I thought that they were gonna, like, find someone in the hospital that's, like, in a coma and then pull the plug.
That would be a way.
Yeah.
Still, again, but they still bring up a good point of, like, how do you know how much time someone else has?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they then go with the plan B, which is like, okay, we will temporarily kill you, and then we're in a hospital, we're going to revive you. And I mentioned that this film, these films always lean into, like, common fears that people have. But as this film goes on, there's a great moment in which they are trying to get into the hospital, and they have to go through a revolving door. And I love that this film practically turns to the audience and goes, we know all of you are looking at that revolving door. You're all thinking about what could happen. And yeah, the dramatic buildup to just going through a revolving door is so dramatic. Like, the fact that they're able to make that feel tense is really impressive. But I want to bring that up because I was thinking more about Tony Todd's final message of life is for the living. And at the end of this, they're trying to figure out, well, where can you go to escape death? And they're like, Grandma's cabin. She was there for 40 years without anything happening to her. We just go back to Grandma's cabin.
No, but well, we're in the spoiler section anyhow.
Yeah.
So, like, Eric and Bobby die.
Yeah.
They mentioned, like, if you interfere with death, he will fuck with you. So.
And so that's why Eric still died in that. And yeah, graphic death
Yeah,
scene.
oof.
But they're about to be like, we'll just go to the cabin, and then the son, what was his name again?
Charles?
Charlie, yeah, that was it. Charlie goes, so what, we're just going to live the rest of our lives inside this cabin, never do anything? And they are bringing up the point of, like, yeah, and I was thinking about Tony Todd's final message, that fear of, like, just going through a revolving door, of being afraid of everything. And yeah, that's kind of the message of, no, you can't just go and lock yourself in that cabin for the rest of your life. That's no way to live. And yeah, I feel like the message of this film is, like, it made me kind of think of The Monkey that we reviewed last year, where the message is, yeah, death is out there and it is going to get you eventually. Don't worry about it, man. That's no way to live your life, just worrying about that the entire time. So, like, that's another reason why I feel like they should not make another Final Destination. Because if a Final Destination film is going to go out on the message of death is going to get you eventually no matter what, just live your life and just enjoy it. Yeah, that should be the message of the Final Destination film.
Also, having a Final Destination film without Tony Todd just doesn't feel right.
I think they did one without him.
Oh?
Yeah. So it has been done, but also it's like, nah, dude, I think after they did that, they brought him back immediately. It's like, we need this guy in here. Yeah, I think the second one, if memory serves me correct, it's been a long time since I've seen it. But I think the second one did, because I know the person who explained what death and all that was to them was the survivor of the previous film. So I think after that, they were like, you know what, just bring Tony Todd back. So yeah, I stand firmly by just don't make another one.
Yeah.
But I mentioned, they're going back to the cabin. The mom who ran away eventually comes back. And she tells them, listen, I started looking at you the way that my mom looked at me. My mom trained me to see death everywhere. So I started looking at you thinking, if I stick around, I will do to you what my mom did to me. I can't do that to you. So that's why I left. And yeah, we talk about the good family dynamics in here. I like the family dynamics between Stephanie and her mom. I think that that's handled very well. And the mom says she's going to sacrifice herself for them because the death goes in order, so it will go to the mom, and then it will go to her kid. So it went to the uncle, and then it went to all of his kids. Then we'll go to the mom and go to all of her kids. And she says, as long as I'm alive, you kids are okay and you're safe. I'm going to lock myself in that cabin for the rest of my life. It's like, damn, yeah, she's sacrificing herself. Even if she's not dying for the kids, she's doing basically, it's like she's living for the kids, but she's going to lock
but
herself.
not really living.
She's locking herself in a cell for the rest of her life for their kids. And it's like, yeah, wow, that is a great way to write a sacrifice in a Final Destination film. But then it leads into the big final sequence, and man, it is tense shit, just nonstop, just going nuts in there. And yeah, they just one death after another. The way that like Rube Goldberg that started at the beginning of the film comes back around, it's amazing how well they set that up. And then the way in which they're set up, like, okay, is the mom alive? Is the mom dead? Okay, it looks like the daughter's in trouble, but as long as the mom is alive, then the daughter's okay. And, oh, the mom literally just died. Well, now the daughter needs to survive. And the brother goes in, the daughter drowns, Stephanie drowns, Charlie goes in, rescues her, and then resuscitates her. And at that moment, I remembered at the beginning of the film, when they meet the cousins, one of the cousins says, Charlie, how's lifeguard training going? He's got trained in lifeguard. They established that at the beginning of the fucking film. At the very end, he uses that train to bring her back. Mm-hmm. God damn, that is good writing. Mm-hmm. That is really good. But then, of course, at the very end, like, I feel like at the very end, they got a little bit cheap, though. Because at the very end, they go over and, like, they visit Charlie's date for the prom. And her dad is a doctor. And he says, like, oh, yeah, so you resuscitated your sister there. And he goes, yep, brought her back to life. He goes, well, if you resuscitated her, that means her heart didn't stop, so she wasn't technically dead. But, you still did an impressive thing. And then they realize, like, oh, shit. And then, yeah, they still die at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, spoiler, so I guess, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so, like, at the very beginning, like, in the, like, opening credits, there was a railroad, and, like, basically, the train...
At the very beginning, there's a railroad that the car travels over.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, like, eventually, like, a penny got stuck in, like, the track, and
it's a penny that fell out of their pockets when they were in the hospital and got picked up by an old lady. That old lady goes to buy lemonade, falls out of her purse, drops down, lands in the train tracks, keeps the gate from closing, and then the train derails. And
it just, like, crashes into everybody, and they all die.
Yeah, and it is insanely graphic. Like I said, this is one of the more graphic Final Destination films. And yet it's so Looney Tunes-ish.
Yes.
That it feels less graphic than some of the others. Like, I'm thinking about in that first film when the guy just got choked out, and he's just, and, like, his face is turning to color, and his eyes are getting blood.
Yeah, I think that's why I like this one more, like, the deaths did not feel as real, so it wasn't, like, as anxiety-inducing.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, it's when it gets taken to a certain point, it stops feeling real. You're right. So you are able to watch this without feeling as wince-induced, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so, I'm sorry, was it something else?
No, it's I was gonna say, like, if I go visit the Space Needle, I'm not gonna be like, oh God, what if, like,
everything starts breaking apart, falling apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, cause I told you this before, but, like, when I first watched the first Final Destination movie, I was about to, like, take an airplane the next morning, so I was like, oh, this was probably not a good movie to watch. Yeah,
and I know in the second one, the thing that caused the big incident was a giant logging truck just wedging someone in there, which anytime that you're driving on the road and you just see that giant truck next to you and another one next to you, you have that thought of, like, oh shit, what if they start merging? What then? So yeah, and yeah, that is one of those things that I remember when that film first came out, whenever I would go driving around, I would be like, oh shit. But yeah, this one, it definitely captures a little bit of that fear of heights. It definitely, like, portrays, like, that is definitely the scenario that people with fears of heights have. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is to that extreme where you're just like, oh, listen, man, it's not, out of all the things that were killing people at that moment, the heights was the least of my concern. There was an explosion going on. There was all kinds of, there's a piano that fell on someone. You want to talk about this being Looney Tunes? One of the first deaths we see is a piano falling on someone. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. And the thing is, I think that level of cartoonishness helps to just elevate this film because, listen, this is a goofy-ass concept.
Yeah.
Death is a living thing that is hunting you down because you randomly got a vision that made you avoid it. It's a crazy concept. By taking the deaths to that extreme, it does make you be like, you know what, fuck it, I'll go along with this crazy premise. I don't get, yeah, this is a cartoon at this point. But it's the heart, I feel, in this film that brings it back around and makes you still care about. Yeah. So yeah, this film, shockingly great. I am stunned at. I think that might be all the films from January that we had to talk. Well, there's one other film from January that I guess we could talk about. Oh God, I don't want to watch it. I really don't.
Oh, is it The Wolfman?
No, actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're doing Wolfman next week. Yeah, next episode, Wolfman. That's one that everybody says is shit. That's on everybody's worst of the year list. But it's on everybody's worst of the year list. We kind of have to talk about. So come back for what? You know what? What if I'm the one guy who likes it? What if I'm the one guy who's actually out here like defending the Wolfman film? We'll see. Come back then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Say bye, Peach.
Bye.